Hey, in today's video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in California. That's right, everybody. We're going to talk about the whole state of California today, the good, the bad, the ugly. But first, before we get into that, I'll introduce myself. My name is Jason Wayne. I'm a realtor here with Keller Williams, Silicon Valley. Thank you for watching this video. Look, this video is for those of you who are looking to move to California. Maybe you don't know where you want to go yet. You're just doing some initial research and you just want to kind of find out more about California. And this video is also for those of you who maybe you already know where you're going, and you're saying, hey, I'm moving. Hopefully you're moving to San Jose so I can help you find a home. But no matter where you're going, you're just trying to do your research and you just want to know more about California. A lot of the stuff you see on the news, maybe you just want to find out whether it's true or not, right? Hey, I see all this stuff and hey, I don't know what's right, wrong, or whatever. I'm moving to this state and maybe you're a little bit nervous because of all these things you're seeing. Look, today we're going to cover 5 pros and 5 cons, okay? And if you know anything about my videos, you know I can ramble on a lot. Obviously, I get chatty, so we got to get right into it. So this video is not an hour long because we have 10 topics to cover. But we're going to start with the cons first, okay? We're going to get the cons out of the way. The cons of California are a real deal. They're real cons, okay? And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If there's anything, again, from my videos, I will always tell you the truth, okay? So let's just get right into it. We're going to go from 5 to 1, okay? So number 5. Con of California, okay, of living in California. It's what I refer to as the cultural rot, okay? I know it's a terrible thing to say. It's something we see mostly in our cities, okay, especially LA, San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento, to some degree San Jose, although San Jose is not as bad. San Jose is actually a pretty nice town, okay? But cultural rot, what I'm referring to really is it's something we've seen a lot lately, right? It's on the news all the time. It's the homelessness in California. It's out of control. Just the drug use. It's on display in the streets. We've got a lot of mental health issues. On the street. Once upon a time we had mental institutions. You took people who were really suffering truly from mental illness. We had hospitals for them to go into, and all across this country, not just in California. And unfortunately, it was decided that, well, that's a violation of their civil rights. And so now we have homeless people in the streets and they're suffering and they're dying out there on the streets. And, streets are public. We see it. And so, again, what you're seeing on TV in terms of, a lot of the cultural issues and things that are happening, again, they're not just happening in California. They're happening in major cities all across the country. But it's just very much on display here. And it's unfortunate because it didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be like that. Again, I think just a lot of the just California in general, just the cost of living and, what we call the wealth gap in this state it's really caused, a lot of this stuff to kind of rise to the surface. The good news, though, is that, look, if you live, in a major town, in a major city, most of this stuff is contained really to the downtown areas. If you live in the suburbs, there's going to be nice areas, okay, no matter where you live. Even in the rural parts of California, which there's a lot of, okay, you're going to see some cultural, issues. But for the most part, when you're living in the main towns and the main areas and the suburbs and all that, you're going to be fine, okay? So don't let it scare you away. But I do want to bring light to it, all right? That when you do come out here, if you go to downtown San Francisco, what you're seeing on the news about some of the stuff that's on the streets, it's true, unfortunately, okay? But don't let it scare you off for sure. Number 4. All right, number 4 is something that's talked about a lot, but we'll just get right to it, right? It's the cost of living in California. California in general is expensive. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. In general, California is about 50% more expensive than anywhere else in the country, okay? And that's kind of a generalization because California has obviously some of the most expensive real estate in the world. Palo Alto, here in the Bay Area, right? Palo Alto, Menlo Park, Atherton. I mean, we have some of the most, rural kind of, more what we say affordable housing, kind of in the more rural parts of California. So that gap is, there's a pretty big, difference there. But point is, if you're moving to California, you're most likely moving to one of the major cities. And it's going to be expensive. Housing's more expensive, food, gas, right, everything. But one way to kind of think about it, I heard an economist talking about California one time, and he related the cost of living to similar to like living in an apartment complex, right? So if you live in an apartment complex, you pay an HOA, right? And your HOA fee is dependent on what he referred to as your amenities, right? We have amenities. You're going to have a pool and maybe a private conference room, okay? But you're going to pay more for those things. If you have 24-hour security, right, you're probably going to pay more for having more options and more amenities available to you. And that's what California is, okay? And when we talk about amenities in California, really we're talking about the food and the wine and the beaches, okay? You can go surfing and snowboarding in the same day kind of thing, right? So because there's so much to do, outdoor activities, hunting, fishing, all right, like I said, it's unlimited. It's such a massive state. We have all these national parks. I mean, it's all this stuff to do within the same state. So just naturally, the amenities are just going to lead to a rise in cost. Why? Because a lot of people love living in California. A lot of people are moving to California, and that just causes prices to go up, right? So California really is the luxury apartment, right, in the nicest part of town that people want to live in, and you're going to pay a higher HOA to live right in that area, and that's really what. All right, number 3 con of living in California. I tell you, it's something that really gets under my skin a little bit, especially here in the summertime, something we're subjected to as Californians. I'm not sure if you've heard of this or not, but we have something called rolling blackouts. That's right, rolling blackouts are the number 3 con of living in California. They are a pain in the butt, and the real pain in the butt is that they're man-made. They're man-caused, all right? So what's happened in California is that we've taken our electrical grid that used to run on coal, natural gas, solar, wind, okay, all, as they call all the above, and they've scaled back the coal, they've scaled back the natural gas, okay? And what's happening now is in the summertime, when it gets hot, especially in our inland valleys, all right, when it gets hot, there's a huge pull off of our electrical grid, and the grid are natural energy sources that California is trying to get on into this green energy stuff, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it's great when you're ready for it. We're just not ready for it. And so what happens is the gas and electric companies, what they do is they start to do blackouts. They'll start taking sections of towns, sections of cities, right, sections of the state, and they will shut the power off on you, right? Right in the middle of summer. You got your AC running, you're trying to stay cool, and boom, there goes your power, okay? It happens every year, every summer, and it is incredibly annoying. It's incredibly frustrating. And what's frustrating is that it's unnecessary. It's not needed, right? If we would just use the power that we need, right, that's available to us, so we wouldn't have to shut off the power on people. But we don't do that, right? California really wants to lead in this green energy thing, but unfortunately, California people really have to put up with a lot of these rolling blackouts, okay? So it's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying that when you move here, that guaranteed your power is going to go out in the summer, but it's something to watch out for, okay? It's a pain in the butt. One interesting thing to note here about these rolling blackouts, and again, to kind of prove my point about how it's unnecessary. In 2021, our genius pretty boy governor over here, Gavin Newsom, was under a recall election. Okay, I'm sure maybe a lot of you remember if you were paying attention, but Gavin Newsom was under recall from Larry Elder, right, a talk show radio host guy. And through that summer, this is an interesting little fact not a lot of people talk about. But see, that's why you watch my channel. I'm going to tell you what's going on here. That summer, right, the summer of 2021, Gavin Newsom was under recall from Larry Elder. You want to know what California did not experience in the summer of 2021? That's right, we did not get rolling blackouts because Gavin Newsom was not going to allow power to be shut off on Californians in the summer right before his recall election. So, gee, surprising, he allowed for like the first time in quite a few years the use of natural gas in order to keep the electrical grid running. And so he, like I said, he was not going to allow these rolling blackouts. So isn't it interesting that when a politician is trying to keep their job, suddenly you're allowed to keep your air conditioner on. But when he doesn't need you, well, you can just go to the mall if you want to stay cool, you know? So, all right, number 2 con of living in California, all right, is going to be our taxes. Yes, you know California, if there's anything we do good, hey, we can't keep the power on, but you know what we can do? We can tax the hell out of you. That's right. Look, California has some of the highest taxes in the nation, all right? We have 7 to 10% sales tax depending on the county that you're in, all right? You can pay up to 10%. I believe in Santa Clara County here where we are here in San Jose, I believe it's about 9%. So, you want to buy something that's about $100. When you walk out the door, it's going to be about $110. All right. So keep in mind, you're going to come out here, you're going to pay a little bit more. Okay, maybe you're going to pay a lot more for things. All right. Another big one is the income tax, the state income tax. Now, we have in California something called the progressive state income tax, right? Which means that if you make less money, you pay less, and if you make more money, you pay more. So our state income tax in California ranges anywhere from 0 to 13%. 13% just to the state. So not only are you paying federal, but you're paying 13% more to the state, and that's some of the highest in the nation, if not the highest in the nation. And it's pushing a lot of people, unfortunately, out of here. Joe Rogan, for example, right? He's a perfect example of what happens when you just push the taxes too far on people. You really miss out. Okay, so Joe Rogan, again, the example being, he got $100 million deal with Spotify a few years ago. First thing he did before he signed that Spotify contract is he moved to Texas, where they don't have a state income tax. He saved $13 million. Think about that. $13 million he saved just by packing up his house and getting out. That's crazy. And that's why I think California is really missing the ball on a lot of, just missing a lot of tax opportunity. We're like $22 billion deficit this last couple of years in California because so many people have decided, you know what, I'm not paying that. There's other places I can go where I can actually get potentially say you're just in the middle income tax. Say you're getting 8 or 9% rate. That's a 10% raise just by leaving the state. I mean, that's just, it's just crazy. And like I said, unfortunately, it's causing a lot of people to finally say, you know what, I'm out of here. Okay. Our gas taxes, again, are some of the highest in the nation. We pay about, I believe it's $1.30 more per gallon of gas in California. All right. So whatever the national average is, guess what? California is paying about $1.30 more. Because why? Because we just have so many taxes. There's these excise taxes and these taxes, and it's all taxes. And the California people, for some reason, I don't know why, every time they put a tax ballot, right, or a tax thing on the ballot, people vote for it. They're like, hey, we're going to raise taxes because we're going to do this thing. And people in California are like, yeah, let's do it. Let's raise taxes, more taxes. I don't get it, but we're paying the taxes. All right. So when you come to California, be prepared. You're going to spend more on gas. All right. All right. And the number one con, let's just get right to it. It's just what I just referred to in number 2. The number one con of living in California is what's called the California exodus. What you're seeing on the news, what you're seeing on TV, unfortunately, yes, it's true. Californians are bailing out of here, man. It's not talked about a lot here in California because, they don't want to stir up any feathers. But look, between 2010 and 2020, over 1 million people left California. All right. And anybody wants to disagree, the census proved it. All right. The census showed that California lost population for the first time in the history of the state. All right, we lost an electoral vote, right? We lost a House seat, okay? So when these genius politicians in Sacramento want to go in front of the cameras and talk about how good and healthy and wonderful California is, well, if it's that way, then why did 1 million people leave, okay? If that's the case, why is California losing political power on the national stage, okay? It's because California is being mismanaged in Sacramento and people are saying, you know what, I'm out of here. And those numbers were just from 2010 to 2020, which caught, just the beginning of COVID. Another data set I saw was from 2020 to 2022. In the 2 years of COVID, over 700,000 people left California in 2 years. So it took 1 million for them to leave in 10 years. In the last 2 years, over 700,000 people have left California. They're going to Texas. They're going to Florida, right? We know where they're going. I'm sure a lot of you watching know exactly where they're going. They're moving into your neighborhoods. All right. But look, these are people that are just saying, man, I can't take it no more. It's right. Again, what we talked about, the cons, the cultural issues, right? The taxes, right? And they're saying, you know what? The amenities, they're not worth it anymore. I want out of here. And so again, yes, the Cal exit is true. It's unfortunate. It does bring, opportunity for folks like yourself who are looking to move to California because it does present an opportunity for you to buy a place, right? You can't buy a home unless someone is selling a home. So again, when you come out here, you're gonna, like I said, you're just gonna be, you're gonna see that, yeah, a lot of people are leaving, but you're also gonna see what we get into the pros is why a lot of people are staying. It's why we still have 40 million people living here, right? Even though a million people left, we still have a lot of folks living here. But yeah, Cal Exit's true. It's real. Look, I have a whole nother side of my business where I actually help people move out of California, right? As much as I love helping folks like yourself move to California, it's my home, it's where I'm born and raised. I'm staying put, okay? But a lot of people are not, right? And a lot of people are saying they're going to leave, and I understand. I say, look, I get it. I get why you're leaving. So I do help people leave. So look, if you're looking to move out this way, that's why you let me know, because I'm involved in buying and selling, and I can help you find a home that you want here in California. But you're saying, holy crap, Jason, I don't want to move to California now. You just scared the hell out of me. Well, don't worry. Now that we've got the cons out of the way, let's get to the pros. Now, just like we did in the cons video, we're going to go from 5 to 1, all right? Are you ready? Here we go. So the number 5 pro of living in California is that California is big, all right? It's big, it's massive. All right, California from Oregon coast to the Mexican border is about 900 miles, okay? It's 900 miles long, and it's about 250 miles wide, all right? We have 1,200 miles of coastline. Just the most beautiful, gorgeous coastline on the planet, all right? And with big California comes like national parks, right? We've got so much terrain. We've got the valleys, we've got the ocean, the mountains. You can go snowboarding, and we've got wine country. We've got some of the best food in the world, the best wine in the world, which I just said, right? But because we're so big, it's just so vast, and it gets to what I talked about in the cons, but it gets to the amenities of California, right? So the fact that California is so big means that you can go to this national park the one weekend, and you can go camping on the beach another weekend. Okay, you can go tour Sonoma and Napa the following weekend, and you're still within a pretty close radius of California. You're not really traveling all that far to do those things, because California, like I said, it's just so vast. The terrain, the topography, we've got deserts and valleys and mountains. It's beautiful. But again, it's fun because it's big, and there's just going to be a lot to do. And when you come out here, you're going to love it because there's just so much going on in California. All right, number 4. Look, I'm repeating myself, but it's okay because it can't be said enough. The number 4 pro of living in California is our food and our wine, okay? We've got the best food in the world. Look, the California Central Valley feeds the world, okay? We have, I believe I saw it was like 99% of I want to say of almonds, peaches, some, I forget what other nuts it was, like cashews. I mean, so much of fruits and vegetables and nuts come from the Central Valley of California. Okay, it's we are really the fruit basket, the food basket of the nation, and it's all grown right here. It's not uncommon for you to be driving somewhere out in rural California, and we have just those little corner lot, little dude sitting on the back of a pickup truck selling turnips. You know what I mean? We've got so much of that out here. Lots of oranges and apples. You're just going to get a lot of that out here. Again, and the wine, as I've mentioned in my other videos, for those that don't know, man, I was a sommelier in a former life of mine, so I know a lot about wine, probably too much about the vino, but it was an honor to be a sommelier at that time. But we've got some of the most amazing wine regions of the world, not only Napa and Sonoma, but if you're moving to San Jose here, look, we've got the Santa Cruz Mountains, we've got Reese, Testarossa, okay, we've got Mount Eden, some world-class wineries right here in our backyard. But we've got, Santa Barbara has some of the most amazing wineries in the world. There's a region south of Salinas, California, off the Monterey Bay called the Santa Lucia Highlands. It's a small little range, but man, they've got some beautiful, beautiful wines. And so if wine culture and food culture, if you like to go to the farmer's market on the weekend and go get some produce and grab a little bit of meat and get some wine and go home and fire up the grill on a beautiful sunny summer day, California is a place to do it. You know what? All right, number 3 pro of living in California. I'm going to say it's our outdoor lifestyle. Okay, like I just talked about, our beautiful weather here. Because of our beautiful weather, we have outdoor lifestyle year round. Okay, it's whether you like hiking or hunting or fishing or bicycling. Okay, all of it. We can do it here because, again, one of the beauties of California is we don't have the weather kind of say problems, weather issues, the severe weather that you get in a lot of other states, probably where you're sitting watching this right now. Okay, we don't get those summertime thunderstorms, right? We don't get the hurricanes, we don't get the crazy winds, right? All that stuff. If you want to go to the park and have a birthday party in the park for your kid, you can do it. You don't have to worry about a thunderstorm coming and blowing over. You know, when you wake up in the morning and the weatherman says it's going to be sunny and 82 degrees today, guess what? It's going to be sunny and 82 degrees all day long. It's fantastic. It's lovely. Hey, when I lived in Denver, man, it was frustrating. You try to do something outside. You try to go for a motorcycle ride with your buddies. You try to do something in the park. Forget about it. 3 o'clock, you know what happens, man. That sky gets dark and all hell breaks loose, right? So we don't have to worry about that in California. And so because of that, man, our national parks, Yosemite, Lassen National Park, Joshua Tree, right, wherever it is you want to go, you can go out and you can go for a hike. You know, probably the biggest thing you got to worry about is probably some of the wildlife out there, right? You know, I mean, but you don't have to worry about the weather ruining a hike or anything like that. And that's why, again, that's why our national parks are so renowned. That's why people from all over the world come and visit them, because you can just come and you can enjoy it that day. You don't have to worry about the weather. So, all right, number 2. Let's get on with this, man. We're rambling on. We're rounding third base here. Number 2 pro of living in California. It's something that as a homeowner, when you purchase your home out here, you're going to become very, very familiar with, and that is what's called Proposition 13. All right, I'm not going to get into all the details of Prop 13, but what Prop 13 does is that when you buy your home, it establishes your property tax rate at the time that you buy your home. Okay, so what it does is it prevents, right, once your property tax rate is set, it prevents your property taxes from going up any more than 2 to 3% per year. Okay, so as we know in a lot of states during COVID, especially I saw this happen in Texas, is that when property values go up, the property taxes go up with them. And sometimes, unfortunately, people end up losing their homes because they got taxed out of it. They couldn't afford the property taxes and they had to sell their house. Well, this happened in California back in the late 60s and early 70s. And California passed something called Proposition 13, which is to prevent that. So you know, you could buy a home. There's a lot. Let me rephrase. I'll say there's a lot of people in California that have homes that are worth, you know, $1 million, $2 million, and they're only paying $3,000-$4,000 a year in property taxes because they bought their home back when it was a lot less expensive. Okay, but now that California real estate has gone up so much, they've not been priced out. And so again, when we get to like a lot of the taxes in California, the sales taxes, right, the gas taxes, all these things, this is a big reason why those taxes are needed in a lot of cases, because the property tax values are, you know, kind of keeping down some of that tax revenue for the state. So again, all right, everybody, here we go. The number 1, let's finish it off. Thank you for watching. If you're still watching this video, just throw me a like real quick so I can know you're there. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If there's something I missed out on, maybe I'll make another video, okay? But I'll add real quick. If you're moving to San Jose, let me know. I'd love to help you find a home. Okay, it's what I do. It's what I love. San Jose, like I said, is where I'm born and raised. So, but let's get to it. The number 1 pro of living in California, again, I say this all the time about everywhere, really, and especially even San Jose, is the opportunity. Okay, the opportunity here is like nowhere else in the world. All right, because we're so big, not only, you know, Silicon Valley, where I'm talking about, you know, we got 3-4 million people. But California is massive, right? Like I said, we have 40 million people here, and 40 million people are figuring it out, right? And the opportunity here, whether it's you want to go to Hollywood because you want to be in the movies, okay? You want to come to Silicon Valley because you have a business tech dream, all right? There's anything and everything that you can do here in California. When you do it here in California, man, you can really build a big, beautiful, wonderful life, okay? Because California is actually the 6th largest, number 6, okay, largest economy in the world, just the California economy. And that's why a lot of times people, man, I get a little frustrated when I go online and people badmouth in California. I get it, you know, people across this country are ripping on California because of the political issues here. But they're wishing all this harm on California, and it really gets under my skin. They're wishing California would, you know, have an earthquake and fall in the ocean type of thing. But look, California, even though we got a bunch of corrupt, dirty politicians in Sacramento, and we do, they can't sink this ship. They're trying. I'm telling you, they're doing their best job. They are shooting holes in the bottom as best they can. At least it seems like they're trying to. But man, I tell you, the California economy is just so big then it's going to take a lot more than dirty, corrupt politicians to sink this ship. Okay, so if you're worried about those things, especially those cons that I talked about, don't worry about it. All right, you come out here, California is big. Right now, at the time of this video, we've got this banking issue going on. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank. Oh man, it's got people scared. Yeah, it could affect the economy. I'm not saying it's not going to, but Silicon Valley and California, we have endured, right, recessions before. We've endured changes. That's what California is all about. And you know what happens in California? We always come out stronger, right? What happened in the recession of 2000? Right? Remember that? The dot-com bubble burst. They thought, oh, that's it. Silicon Valley's gone. What happened? We came back stronger and we changed the world. Okay, Silicon Valley is on the map now. So California, look, you want to come out here, these are some great, great opportunities for you. You can come out here, you can build a business, you can live a good life. And when you do that, you're going to have me on your side. I'm going to be in your corner, cheering you on to build that big, beautiful life. Because look, I'm a small business owner myself. I know what it's like to come out here and try to build a business. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And California is going to be the best place, I think, for you to do it. So, all right, everybody. So I hope that list gave you some value. If it did, hit the like button, leave a comment, give me a call if you're looking to move to San Jose. And even if you're looking to move to California and you need a realtor, let me know, because I'm with Keller Williams Silicon Valley. We have realtors all across, not only California, all across this country, all across the world. I would love to partner you up with an agent. And look, for all full disclosure, I get a referral fee off of that. Okay, I get a little referral. I call it my nugget. If I can partner you up with an agent wherever you're moving to, hey, it helps keep the lights on this channel. So if there's anything I can do to help you not only move to San Jose but move to California, you let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.